used to Highland games. You're the professional athlete.
Welcome back to Strength of the Highlands. And in this segment, we will be showing you some traditional strength exercises that will build the muscle groups. As you can tell, Chris has been well schooled in strength. That will build the muscle groups necessary to handle these implements. Now, don't try this at home if you've never lifted weights, of course, but for those hardy individuals who have lifted weights and are thinking about possibly getting involved in the games, we'll show maybe a half dozen basic exercises that will strengthen these muscle groups. A couple things about these exercises: they're all multiple joint exercises. It's popular in today's gyms to have machines that isolate one particular muscle group, and while this might be great for bodybuilding purposes, there's never an activity in life where you're only using, say, your bicep or one part of your chest. So these movements are multiple joint, gross motor movements that will strengthen the body as a whole. The first exercise is the barbell squat, and Chris will be good enough to demonstrate the technique here. Chris, if you want to step in front of the bar, I'll hand it to you.
The mic.
What are some things to keep in mind when squatting, Chris?
You have to keep your back straight, your chest out, your eyes forward, your feet about shoulder width, and inhale at the start and exhale at the bottom.
Now you notice his feet are a little bit wider than shoulders. His toes are pointed out, his chest is up, and his back is straight. A lot of strength coaches will tell you that if they had just one exercise for their athletes to do, it would be the barbell squat. Maybe one more, Chris. Excellent.
Thank you. Thanks.
Now tonight we're not setting any world records in weights or pronunciation of words, as you can tell. This is just about 120 pounds, but it gives you an idea for technique. Next, Chris is going to demonstrate the bent over barbell row. And this is an excellent exercise for strengthening all of the muscles, basically from one set of fingertips around to the other, and including the back and neck.
Again, keep the back straight, bend at the hips, keep your butt high, go to a standing position, and then return.
Now he's pulling that bar right about to his navel, and it's strengthening the side of the back, the latissimus dorsi, the back of the deltoid or shoulders. His biceps are getting more than a little bit of work, as well as his grip. Good.
Feels good.
The next exercise that we'll have Chris demonstrate, since we're going with pulling motions, would be the barbell shrug. And this is an excellent exercise for the shoulder girdle. 120 pounds will do nothing for you, but as you get up around the 300, 400, 500 pound range, just supporting a lot of weight and shrugging with the shoulders is great for supporting strength and shoulder strength. So Chris, would you demonstrate a barbell shrug?
I'm breathing hard now because I'm using a lot of muscles all at one time.
Here again, he grips it just like the bent over row, but instead of going all the way down, he's just shrugging with his shoulders. And this is going to build the muscles on the back of Chris's neck, the trapezius muscles, as well as the shoulders and the spinal erector, lower back. The next exercise I highly recommend if you're competing in the Highland Games is a power clean from mid-thigh. We call this from the hang position. Here again, a medium grip, starting with the weight here, and I'm just going to dip down a little bit, keeping my arms straight, letting my shoulders come forward, and I'm going to stand up explosively and catch the weight up here on my chest. Let the weight down, I dip down, pulling with my shoulders, catch the weight up here again. This is great for explosive pulling, which most of the weights in the games are all pulling. The only exercise where we push would be the stone putt. And we're going to show you what to do for that.
This is excellent for the caber.
No doubt about that.
The caber's got so much power coming out of a bottom position, just like this weight in the clean.
Exactly. Now, since we do putt and we do a stone push, Chris is going to demonstrate, hopefully, the standing press. Now, a lot of guys are into bench pressing, and that's fine. It's a good topic around the beach, but the bench press really doesn't equate well into sports movements. A standing press is a much better exercise for the shoulder girdle, the arms, triceps, and shoulders. He's keeping his back straight, hands a little bit wider than shoulder, driving it right over his head. Excellent, Chris. By the way, if you ever decide to go into bodybuilding, these things will get you ready for that as well, as Chris amply just demonstrated. Arm strength can't be underestimated in the games. All of these things you have to hang on to with your arms. And a good basic exercise for strengthening the arms is just your basic barbell curl. Now, this is the closest to any bodybuilding movement we would show you. Grip a little bit wider than the shoulders, and without a whole lot of back sway, curl a bar up here to about chin level, letting it down slowly. Chin level, letting it down slowly. And one more, since you have to understand something. We worked out pretty hard last night.
I mean, I can't believe you're doing that.
So even this is only about 120 pounds, we're pretty tapped. Chest level.
Yeah.
Down slowly.
He's keeping his elbows close to his sides, too, so he doesn't bring too much of his shoulders into it. I noticed that.
At least he was trying to.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, you have to hang on to all of these implements, and a strong grip is an absolute necessity for these games. Now, you can work your grip many ways, but one of the best things to get would be a heavy-duty hand gripper. Now, the plastic ones you can buy at Kmart just won't do. I have an 84-year-old grandmother who just came through heart surgery, and she could shut the ones that I bought at Kmart. This is a heavy-duty stainless steel model that you can get through most powerlifting magazines. This is actually the easiest strength out of about 5. And just working different grips, either a regular grip, maybe an overhand grip, or what you can do is to get a leather strip and tie on weights, put it between the two handles, and just see how long you can hold it like that. But either way, it'll develop the strength of your hands, as well as the throwing will as well.
That's right.
We were cut short a little bit talking about the North Carolina connection. I said before the break that Loch Norman was coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Also, local games that the people at home could attend would be Grandfather Mountain.
Yeah, Stone Mountain's not too far away, is it?
It's about a 5-hour drive.
Mm-hmm.
Those games are in the fall. Mm-hmm. We're in the 3rd week of October. Loch Norman is coming up.
Will this just be international or national competition?
These games that we're mentioning here are mostly local athletes.
Okay.
Stone Mountain brings down, I think, 1 or 2 Canadians.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, the closest that the people here can see to international competition would be at Fredericksburg. They bring in 3 guys from Scotland and 2 Canadians, and that's a very good competition. But Grandfather Mountain, without a doubt, is the most prestigious games on the East Coast. Those are always the 2nd weekend in July.
It's so beautiful.
Loch Norman is coming up April 20th. Red Springs, for those to the south and east, it's not far from Lumberton. It's down past Pinehurst. Those games are in early fall, I think the 2nd week in October. So without driving more than 2 or 3 or 4 hours in any direction, Gatlinburg, Tennessee as well is about a 4.5-hour drive, and those are good games coming up in May. There should be a number on the screen. Maybe it's been there already. If it hasn't been, in the closing credits, you'll see the number to the North American Scottish Games Association.